Hello and welcome to the Merle and Locke podcast. I'm Merle.
And I'm Locke.
Set sail and low expectations for everything nerd, accompanied by healthy, albeit shameful, helping to pointless banter, lack of folks that questionably acquired knowledge.
And more.
And more. So for today's topic, Locke, it's something that I wasn't really sure it was worth talking about at first, because I didn't know whether or not it sounded kind of like patronizing towards certain types of people, and could
How
cause
dare you?
rub people the wrong way or something. I don't know. Maybe it gets under my skin sometimes, where I kind of shake my head at people, but people that feel like this sense of entitlement. But let me give you the background to this, okay? So I went out. I took my daughter to a football game that she had. That was it was about an hour away, and when we got out there, like the gas prices were a little higher, and from where I was or where I live, and I decided, I'm low on gas, but I want to go back to one of the gas stations that I know, the gas is a decent price. So I set in my Google Maps and other GPS services are available, of course. But I type in my gas station, just to get a general route. And you know how when you type in this destination and it has like this little the reviews of the place, it kind of pops up there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So the reviews popped up, and the reviews were kind of bad.
So you actually read through these reviews?
Well, I was curious because I was like I go to this gas station all the time. The prices are pretty low. Uh, as far as the normal prices go, and every time I go in, the people are nice and they're chatty and welcoming and pleasant, and the place is clean. And I was like, why does it have bad reviews? So naturally, I was curious, and I looked at some of the reviews, and it was a couple of people that gave it really bad reviews because of the car wash. Like this one guy, he was going off, right? He's like, I paid for my car wash, and when I was going through it, it took 30 minutes for me to get through the car wash, and that's unacceptable. They need to more streamline this service, and blah blah. That's way too long to get a car wash. And it naturally, like, my first thought was like, what is this entitled prick talking about? First of all, like, well, okay, I wasn't. That was my initial thought, right? And I was like, what is this guy on about? And naturally, every time I get upset about a particular way that a person acts, or the way they are, I try to empathize, right? So I try to see myself in their shoes and try to, find reason to it as to why someone would be so upset about taking 30 minutes to get a car wash. And, I summarized the fact that he's just a entitled prick. No, but no, I was thinking, like, I feel like there's there may be more schools of thought on this, right? But I was bringing it down to like two trains of thought, right? So the thoughts that I had were like, people either see the world, or they perceive their world as the way it is, or they perceive it the way things used to be, right?
Uh-huh.
So this guy sees the world as it is. So everything is like all these conveniences that we've developed in American society, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Talking American society in particular, right? We have all these numerous like inventions or services, these conveniences that streamline things for us, right? And when we live in what we have, or we perceive the world only as like what there is currently. Everything needs to work proper, you know, up to par, with what our expectations are.
But yeah, his issue wasn't that it didn't work proper. It just took too damn long for his liking.
Right, right. And now my school of thought, right, where I'm looking at this, I'm like, it's an automated car wash. Like I'm looking at this like you don't have to take your car home, fill up a bucket full of water and soap with a sponge and scrub all the bug guts off your car, sitting out there, uh, in the heat or whatever for an hour or more, and even waxing too, because don't a lot of automated car washes have like waxing services and what have you?
Right.
Perhaps.
Yeah, for your like real premium washes.
Yeah, yeah, and it has all these services that you just fly through it, right? It takes like what, maybe 5 minutes usually, to actually go through the car wash. I don't know. I haven't been through a car wash since I was a child.
If
I
you if
don't
you
know.
choose the most premium wash, and that's usually what I do when I do select a car wash. Like you can be sitting there for a good while, and I usually like to put on my music and just jam out to a good song that works well with being in a car wash.
Right. Yeah. So like naturally it's not a big deal. In my mind, I'm like if I were to get that service, right? That it's saving me time, both time and energy, right? So I don't have to do anything. All I have to do is sit in my car and it does all the work for me. And that's amazing. That's an incredible invention that we've developed, and or well, not we, but well, somebody's developed. And it's a huge convenience. It's a time saver, and you don't have to waste any energy. And it's something that I appreciate. It's not something that I ever utilize personally, because I usually keep a dirty car. My daughter makes fun of me all the time for it. Yeah, but anyway, like if I were to use it, it would be really nice. And the fact that this guy was going off about it taking 30 minutes, out of his day, to have a pristine looking car that he only had to throw money at, a service, and it took care of the job for him. It's a sense of entitlement, right? That comes with, living in the here and now and not considering where we've come from.
Well, I mean, businesses are making money off of these people that want things fast. Like they want it now. They don't even care about the quality of it. I mean, they'll piss and moan about the quality of it later, but they want cheap and fast. Bam.
Right.
And you get cheap and fast, then you get what you paid for, which is just like terrible outcome most of the time. Well, you know what? This guy might have been too into cartoons.
Yeah? Why's that?
You ever see in a cartoon like when they're doing the car wash, it usually just pans from dirty car to clean car. They want that type of transition.
Right.
They
Okay.
just want, I'm dirty, now I'm clean, good to go. I don't want to
Right.
see any in between. I don't want to know how it works. I just want it done.
And no, I get it. Some people are going to come up with the argument, obviously, to the fact that if I'm promised a service with a speedy time frame, and I invest into that service, obviously I want what I paid for. Like I get that argument. I understand that you want what you pay for, and sometimes those services just aren't up to par, with what your expectations are. Like I want to empathize with that, and I want to be on that side. You know, Part of me does, but I have this little inkling in the back of my mind, like that high of expectations. Like if that's your expectation, right? I feel like you'll be disappointed time and again.
Absolutely.
If that's your baseline expectations is for everything to be on par, I feel like you'll constantly be disappointed. My expectations of a lot of things are very low, where I expect it to be under par, and if it's up to par, then
Great.
I'm satisfied. Right? But some people live in the, it's either on par or above expectations. And I feel like that's an unreasonable way to go through life because you'll constantly be disappointed.
Nonsense. Why not just be crotchety about it and piss and moan until you're blue in the face?
Oh man, I feel like it carries over to so many different things too.
If I were in a position where you end up getting the complaint, right? Say if they actually decided to complain to corporate, and I had the luxury, I suppose, to sit there and read this complaint, and it would take me a good while not to want to respond to this person and go, if you think that you could do better, go ahead and create a faster version of what we already have that can compete with it and actually make it better, and then other people will possibly be just as happy as you.
Maybe that's what it is though. Maybe because okay, so if we consider the way in which we grow up and what have you, like I grew up in a home where my dad in particular was like you throw yourself against a problem to try and fix that problem yourself. Now your last option should be to hire help for whatever service it may be. If you spend like all the time in the world to learn about whatever this problem is, how to fix it, research it, and try to perform it, if you are just completely incapable and fail time and again to complete it, then you hire help, right? Where some people are too or overly dependent on these outsourced problem fixers. It takes me to that South Park. I guess it would be a movie or whatever where like all the handymen in the world started getting super rich because nobody knows how to do anything anymore. And it makes me consider that, and that is it's just it's so funny. No, it was just like a luxury that we never had, that I never had growing up, and so it's something that I've become accustomed to. Not saying that like, I'm better than anybody else. It's just that's what I'm accustomed to, so that's just how I am,
Better
right?
than everybody else.
Better than everyone else, exactly. That's my whole thing. That's which like it does take me to my child growing up. Yeah, because it does give me some kind of concern with the fact that well, she sees me and like throw myself against problems, yeah, constantly. Like I constantly have issues that I'm trying to sort out and I'm trying to do myself, and I'm usually able to achieve these, or achieve success in problem solving. But what all she actually sees is the fact that I'm throwing myself at these problems and getting frustrated, getting angry, spending lots of time on it. She sees me cursing in my workshop, and she doesn't see the final outcome where when I'm relieved, there's no celebration or anything by the time I complete it. I'm just sit down and I'm like, ah, peace of mind.
Thank you.
But I feel all she sees is all the frustration and what have you. Where, if we were to consider her mom, every time her mom has issues, she's a busy woman. She has a really good career and she has really good money. And every time she has an issue, she doesn't have time to solve it, so she throws money at it, and it's solved right away.
Right.
And my daughter sees that, and that's what she's, I feel that she's going to opt for. If we're to go back to, oh man, like I remember the one week, she had made money at school because she took a bunch of snacks that I had bought for her and she sold them off at school, which I know it's not really allowed, but she makes money that way, which is frustrating for me because then she complains to me that she doesn't have snacks at the house, and I'm like, well, you sold it all off, for money. Buy your own snacks now. But she had some extra money the one day, and I asked her to clean her room because her room was a mess. I was like, dude, I can't walk in there. I want to vacuum your room. Pick up all your stuff, put it away, and I can clean your room tonight. And she like pulls out this $5 bill, and she's like, I'll pay you to clean my room for me. And I was just like, don't be a numpty. Go clean your room. What are you talking about? And it threw me off guard, But then, after I asked her about it later on that night, I was like, what would ever give you the idea that I would clean your room for you if you paid me? I'm trying to teach you responsibility, and you're just trying to throw money at the problem.
All
And
right.
she's like, well, my mom does that for me. I was like, wait, what? And she's like, yeah, I offered my mom money to clean my room at her house, and she did it. She took the money and she cleaned my room. And I was like, okay,
Jesus.
no, okay. So like I kind of get it, right? Like I'm trying to
Uh,
empathize with her mom and figure out what she's trying to do here. Which like I understand there could be a lesson here where her mom was just like, you have a little bit of money and you want to waste it on paying me to clean your room. Okay, I'll clean your room, but now you don't have any money, So now what are you gonna do? You want to go out and you want to get a candy bar or something from the convenience store? Well, what money do you have to spend?
something you could have done on your own.
Exactly. So I understand there could be a lesson there.
Yeah, I guess I could see that.
We have very different approaches to this, but where her mom, teaches her the lesson, over time, and I guess it's more. It takes a longer time, to get the point across.
I feel like I would have had a whole nother career path had I chose to do that when I was younger.
Oh man, but yeah, it was just the funniest thing because I was like, what the hell are you talking about? Of course I'm not gonna clean your room. Like, what's wrong with you? Oh man, bless her. But no, I get it. This whole throwing money at your problems and people becoming accustomed to that rather than solving their own issues, no matter what frustrations it causes, or developing the patience to actually problem solve. I don't know. Maybe it's a skill that's learned. Like I feel like it might be a skill that's learned as you're a child and it carries on into adulthood. You know, maybe too many people have had it way too easy, and just seen their parents throw money at problems because they don't have the quote unquote time to invest in problem solving. So they just get a career. They just become a pawn in this capitalist
I
society.
was gonna say the corporate machine. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, exactly. Or yeah, that's all they are. Just a corporate shill that makes money and spends it all.
Hey, we're
And they got
corporate
no other
shills.
value. That's true.
What is a lesson that we can learn from all this? I mean, going back to the man who wanted things to be faster at the wash, right? What can we take from that? What can the audience learn?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe the norm in our society is that we're all just becoming over time useless.
It's a, it's, a, it's great. Oh, weird.
Yeah, that's that's the lesson to be had,
You know
or the
what?
realization that we've come to. I
It
feel.
is very inspiring. I am inspired now to
Yeah. Oh, good.
to be nothing
Uh,
but a puddle of flesh and bone.
yeah, yeah. Oh God, what was that movie Wall-E, where everybody's just a chubster
Oh
is
yeah,
sitting in a little floaty chair
right.
watching YouTube and what have you.
Who knows? Give it time.
We'll get there. We'll get there before you know it.
We'll get there.
Ah,
You know,
man.
we just rely on everything else instead of doing it on our own or solving the issues on our own. Ah.
Man.
Thank you for joining us on the Merle and Locke podcast. If you enjoyed this banter, please consider becoming a patron by going to patreon.com/Merle and Locke, or simply follow the link in the description. Thank you.